The words hit like a fist to the gut. You're not her real dad, Tom. My daughter's voice, small and trembling, echoed from the living room, slicing through the quiet hum of our suburban home. I stood frozen in the kitchen, a half-peeled potato in one hand, the knife trembling in the other. The air felt thick, like it was pressing me into the linoleum floor. My heart stuttered, not just from the words but from the way they landed. Sharp, deliberate, like a secret finally set free. I set the knife down, slow, careful, as if moving too fast might unravel the world. The living room was just beyond the doorway, where my wife Laura sat with our 8-year-old daughter, Ellie, on the couch. They hadn't seen me come home early. I'd slipped in through the garage unnoticed, my briefcase still in the car. I leaned against the counter, straining to hear more, but my pulse roared in my ears, drowning out the soft murmur of their voices. Ellie's words replayed, each syllable a splinter under my skin. Not her real dad. For 9 years I'd been Ellie's father. I'd bandaged her scraped knees, read her bedtime stories, and cheered at her soccer games, even when she missed every goal. Laura and I had built this life. Our modest split-level house with its creaky stairs, the backyard swing set, the photos on the mantel capturing every milestone. I thought we were solid, a family stitched together by love, not secrets. But now, doubt crept in like damp rot, seeping into every memory. I forced myself to move, my socks silent on the floor. From the doorway, I saw them. Laura's head bent close to Ellie's, her hand stroking our daughter's hair. Ellie's face was streaked with tears, her small body curled into Laura's side. He's still daddy, Laura whispered, her voice soft but strained, like she was convincing herself as much as Ellie. He loves you so much, sweetheart. The words were meant to soothe, but they felt like a confession, a crack in the foundation of our life. I cleared my throat, and Laura's head snapped up. Her green eyes widened, then darted away, guilt flickering like a shadow across her face. Tom, she said, her voice too bright, too quick. You're home early. Ellie turned, her brown eyes, my eyes, I'd always thought, locking onto mine. She looked scared, like she'd been caught stealing cookies, not shattering my world. Everything okay? I asked, keeping my tone light, though my throat felt like it was closing. I stepped into the room, the carpet soft under my feet, the air heavy with the scent of Laura's lavender candle. Ellie nodded, but her lip quivered. Laura stood, smoothing her skirt, her smile tight. Just a little girl talk, she said, brushing past me toward the kitchen. Dinner's almost ready. I wanted to grab her arm, demand answers, but Ellie was watching, her small hands twisting the hem of her shirt. Instead, I sat beside her, the couch sagging under my weight. What's wrong, kiddo? I asked, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. She shrugged, eyes down, and mumbled something about school. I didn't push. Not yet. But the seed was planted, and it was already growing thorns. That night, after Ellie was tucked in, I found Laura in the kitchen, scrubbing dishes with a ferocity that didn't match the task. The clink of plates filled the silence between us. I leaned against the counter, arms crossed, watching her. She didn't look at me. What did Ellie mean? I asked finally, my voice low, like I was afraid of the answer. Laura's hands stilled, soap suds dripping onto the counter. She's just confused, she said, not turning around. Kids say things. Her voice was too careful, like she was stepping around broken glass. Don't lie to me, Laura. The words came out sharper than I meant, and she flinched. I softened my tone. She said I'm not her real dad. Why would she say that? She turned then, her face pale, her eyes searching mine like she was looking for an escape. It's nothing, Tom. She overheard something at school, some kid teasing her about looking different. You know how cruel kids can be. I wanted to believe her. I'd always trusted Laura. Her quiet strength, her laugh that could light up a room, the way she'd curl into me at night like I was her safe harbor. But there'd been signs, hadn't there? Moments I'd brushed off. Her late nights at work. The way she'd tense when I asked about her day. The locked phone she never used to have. Small things easily explained. Until now. Laura, I said, stepping closer, my voice barely above a whisper. Is there something you're not telling me? Her lips parted, but no words came. For a moment, she looked like she might break, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. Then she shook her head, forcing a smile. You're being paranoid, Tom. Let's not make this a thing. She turned back to the dishes, her shoulders rigid, shutting me out. Sleep didn't come that night. I lay beside her, staring at the ceiling, the glow of the streetlight casting shadows across the room. My mind churned, replaying every moment of our marriage, searching for cracks. Laura had been pregnant when we met, a whirlwind romance that felt like fate. Ellie was born 6 months later, and I'd never questioned the math. I'd signed the birth certificate, my name inked beside hers, a promise sealed in love. But now, doubt gnawed at me, relentless. The next morning, I called in sick and drove to the coffee shop where Laura used to work before Ellie was born. It was a hunch, nothing more, but I remembered a co-worker she'd mentioned. Mark, the manager with the easy smile. I'd met him once, years ago, and something about his familiarity with Laura had prickled me, though I'd dismissed it. The shop was quiet, the air thick with the scent of roasted beans. A young barista confirmed Mark still worked there, but he was off today. I left my number, said it was about an old friend. That evening, Laura was late again. Ellie was at a sleepover, and the house felt too big, too empty. I poured a whiskey, the burn grounding me as I sat at the kitchen table, staring at Laura's old laptop. It was password protected, but I knew her habits. After a few tries, I was in. Her email was clean, too clean, like she'd scrubbed it. But her cloud storage wasn't. There, buried in a folder labeled miscellaneous, was a photo. Laura, younger, laughing, her arm around a man who wasn't me. Mark. His eyes were Ellie's eyes, brown, warm, unmistakable. My chest tightened, the whiskey glass trembling in my hand. I heard the front door open, Laura's keys jingling. Tom, she called, her voice light, unaware. I didn't answer. She found me at the table, the laptop screen glowing between us. Her face drained of color. What are you doing? She whispered. Who is he? I asked, my voice raw, pointing at the screen. She didn't need to look. She knew. It was a long time ago, she said, her voice breaking. Before you. I didn't know how to tell you. Tell me what? I stood, the chair scraping against the floor. That Ellie's not mine? That you've been lying to me for 9 years. She flinched, tears spilling down her cheeks. I love you, Tom. I didn't want to lose you. Mark, he didn't want her. You did. You're her father in every way that matters. Her words were a knife, twisting deeper. I wanted to scream, to break something, but all I could do was stare at the woman I'd loved, the life I'd built, crumbling like sand. You let me believe a lie, I said, my voice barely audible. You let her believe it. Laura sobbed, reaching for me, but I stepped back. The room spun, the walls closing in. I grabbed my keys and walked out, the night air cold against my skin. Behind me, Laura's voice called my name, but I kept going. The truth, a weight I couldn't carry. Not yet. In the car, I drove aimlessly, the city lights blurring through tears I hadn't realized I was shedding. Ellie's face flashed in my mind, her smile, her laugh, her trust. She wasn't mine, not by blood, but every fiber of me still loved her. The betrayal wasn't just Laura's. It was the theft of a truth I'd lived for. And yet, as the miles stretched on, a quieter truth emerged. I wasn't ready to let Ellie go. Not now. Not ever. The phone buzzed in my pocket. A text from Laura. Please come home. We need to talk. For Ellie. I pulled over, my hands shaking. The road ahead was dark, but Ellie was my light, blood or no blood. I turned the car around, not for Laura, but for the little girl who still called me Dad. The secret had shattered us, but maybe, just maybe, love could rebuild what was left.